Welcome to a series called Cooking with the Korean, kind of series where I get to show off what I get to do and make it work. Um, Hopefully this turns out good. We're first going to start out by getting got by my coworker Bo. Bo got me while my back was turned, but we're going to get that white onion into the pan with the garlic butter. We want to get that white onion nice and softened. We're just building our red sauce. That's going to be our spaghetti sauce that goes on the base of the pizza. Adding in a good handful of garlic there. You want to add in your garlic towards the latter half of the onions cooking because it's going to burn a lot easier than the onions will. Adding in some salt and pepper. We're going to let all this stuff in the pan get a little bit brown and start to stick to the bottom of the pan, creating a fond. To deglaze the fond, we're going to use a little bit of my mixtape because it's fiery-o. After the alcohol begins to burn off and finishes burning off, we're going to be left with this nice little reduction in the pan that's going to be packed with flavor. Marsala is a sweet red wine, and it gives it a little bit of sweetness to the already pretty sweet tomato sauce. I'm just adding in our regular spaghetti sauce, and then we're going to give it a good mix, let everything kind of meld together and simmer for a second. And that'll be the red sauce for our spaghetti pizza. And you can't have spaghetti without meatballs, so I took some of our meatballs here and diced them into coin size. Now we got to get our crust made. This is me using the dough sheeter to roll out the crust. I like to get my crusts nice and thin because I hate soggy pizza crusts or undercooked pizza crusts, which is even honestly worse in my opinion. So you want to get it nice and paper thin there, and then I take it, and I'm pretty meticulous when I do my pizzas. I'm almost OCD. I have to make sure that everything is quite perfect on the outside of the crust before I make my cut. And now we gotta dock the dough to make sure there's no air bubbles. Docking is punching little tiny holes through it. We're going to pre-cook our crust. I always pre-cook our crusts because I don't like soggy pizza crusts. It also makes sure that I can add as much toppings as I want without the pizza crust being soggy on the bottom. We're gonna start by adding that red sauce we made earlier. Spreading it all around, and I like to make sure everything's nice and even. Now we're going to add our cavatappi noodles. Most people just call them spaghetti noodles. They're those little curly Q pigtail noodles, but they're technically called cavatappi. We didn't use linguine because I just felt like stringy noodles on a pizza would be weird, so generally my go-to noodle is cavatappi. And I add a good healthy dose of mozzarella and make sure it's all evenly dispersed before adding our garlic seasoning. Then I make sure my pepperoni meatball slice thingies are all nice in a row. Give it a final dusting of Parmesan cheese because you can never have too much cheese. And here's the final results. Most people really liked it. I'm sure I'll be making it again sometime.